Okay, so now I'm going to just demonstrate the simple blanket stitch. And it's really simple. It looks kind of complicated, but it's really not. It does take time and effort to work to get it very straight. So don't be really worried if you're not getting it straight in the beginning. Just take your time. Make sure you breathe. That's one thing that I notice a lot when I'm teaching handwork is people tend to go and they don't breathe a lot. So I want you to make sure that you're consciously breathing. Hear my voice in the back of your head when you're working on this. So I've got my pieces here, and first I'll show the blanket stitch as a way to adhere this piece of felt to the book, and then I'll show it just on the edge of the book. So I've got my pieces, and you know, this is this fun little Russian doll pattern that we found on Etsy. And so you want to think about your pieces and how they'll go together. So this bottom piece here is sort of our foundation piece that needs to be attached first. And so you really want to, so you're going to be coming down, you're going to be going down from the top, or from the top down through the bottom. But you want to be, again, really careful that you're not going all the way through this felt, because of the fact that there's this nice thickness to it. So we start by pushing the needle through. Then we're going to move our thread underneath the needle. We're going to pull it through the first time. Now that doesn't look like much. The second time it will. So here you are with sort of this odd stitch where it's coming up from the top and the bottom. So here we are at the edge. We're going to again go from the top through, and I like to hold my thumb here so that I can feel where that needle is and it doesn't go all the way through the felt. And you're just grabbing enough of it that it's adhering. And again, your thread's going underneath that needle. Pulling through. And isn't this the most fun thread? I find it so much fun to use these because it does take so much work out of the decorative parts of my project, because the thread's already a lot of fun. So again, just going from the top, catching just enough of that backing, making sure that thread's behind, and pulling through. Now I'll tell you, I'm a lefty, and so when you're watching this, if you do it just the way I do it, you should be getting, if you're right-handed, you should be getting the proper perspective. Since I'm left-handed, I do a lot of things ambidextrous, but most of my handwork ends up being left-handed, so it's pretty good that it's mirrored in the video. So that's how it'll look as you're going through. Now I'm going to show you how to do the edge. I'm just going to sort of pull that off with my needle. What's great about the thickness of felt is that you really can hide your ends, and so you don't have a lot of knots in your project. And I find that to be great for a couple of reasons. One, it looks a lot more professional, and two, I find that kids really get hung up on knots and stuff, and so then they'll start picking at it, and the last thing you want is for them to unpick your quiet book, because then you'll be mad. At least I know I would be. At least frustrated at the very least. So I'm going to pull this extra page out of there for this. And now we're going to show the blanket stitch on an actual edge. And it's really not any different. But I like to embed, again, this thread on the inside there so you can't see it. And you'll be coming up through the top. And this is where it gets a little bit tricky. You see that thread there, and you're just watching it. And then I just stick my finger there. And then you're coming over, and that thread's going behind the needle. Keep your finger on this one or you'll lose it. Oh, let's stick it first stitch, and then it goes pretty fast. If you can get fast at the blanket stitch, so many things you can do with it. And it does become sort of the favorite thing for me. I love doing the blanket stitch. Now you can do it this direction, or if it feels better, to flip it over and do it in this direction. I like to turn my work over, especially if it's a piece that's going to be shown on both sides. I like to turn my work over quite often so that I can make sure my stitches look even on both sides. Again, down. Make sure that thread is underneath that needle. Feel free to pause this, rewind it, sit with it on your computer, or if you've got a smart device, on your phone or on your iPad while you're working, until you feel really comfortable with it. And don't rush yourself. Don't be overly critical of yourself. Our children just love things that are made by hand. They just love that we made it. And the look on Samuel's face when he saw what I was doing was priceless. And then you should have seen the look on the 14-year-old's face. He wanted me to make him one too. So I kindly reminded him that he knows how to embroider and that he can make his own. But maybe he'll get something from me. So, you know, this is really something that once you master yourself, I think embroidery is perfect for many ages, but really curriculum-wise, I like to see embroidery come in 4th, 5th grade, 6th grade. I think that they can have a good time with it at that point. And you know, you don't have to keep it to felted projects. You can absolutely use it in many different mediums. But felt is just fun because it's so forgiving. So there's your blanket stitched edge. That's what it looks like from one side. And there's what it looks like from the other side. So that's just a really simple stitch. I hope that this has been fun for you. We love felt. We love all things that are Waldorf handwork. And we hope that you've enjoyed this segment and that you'll go and make a quiet book with your children or for your children. Have a good time with it. Bye now.